listen here, girl. I know you think it's a game, but it is absolutely not. Okay, this is the energy supplement from Just Move Supplements. That's right. It's damn near all gone, girl, and that's because I had to get that energy up so I can complete the workout, so I can give y'all this body, this transformation, get into it, okay? And I'm done working out now, so that's why we're moving on to the protein shakes. Oh yes, it's already in there, girl. It's already made right here. This is the mixture of the banana pudding, the chocolate cake, and the buttercream cupcake. And you really want to be fancy, you can go ahead and add that blueberry muffin if that's what you want to do, girl. But for me, it's these three right here, okay? You put that with some almond milk, you mix it all up, and honey, okay, your muscles have gained life. New energy, agility, get into it, okay? Just Move Supplements. Thank you very much. Hold up, Chief. Okay, don't forget about that TLC NutriBurst to get that multivitamin probably, because we all need a little extra. And child, if you want that sea moss that go down smooth, don't come up rough, okay? Get into the TLC Nautica sea moss. Yes, get that from me. And child, if your stomach hurt and you need to move some things around so you can be free, okay, go ahead and get that ISOT down below in the description box. Get it all from me. Come on in, come on in, come on in, not come on in, not come. Sorry, y'all know I'm weird, whatever.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. So let's go ahead. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. Okay, follow me on Instagram and let's get into the video, right?
Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm back. Yes, girl, we're back. We back. Oh, yes. And listen, girl, it has been a task this morning. Let me tell y'all, before we even get into me getting up early this morning to watch this interview so I can come to y'all with the notes verbatim. Okay? And I'm going to give them to y'all. We're going to get into everything that Monique said, girl. Okay, for the most part, y'all. Some things I'm like, I ain't writing it down, okay? Don't forget, y'all, to vote for me for Boss Babe YouTuber of the year. I posted it on my community page. I reposted the link today. Make sure y'all vote for your girl for YouTuber of the year, okay? Okay, make sure y'all do that. Also, if you follow me on Twitter, you may not see me talking because, girl, they suspended my Twitter. They said I violated their rules based on a background, a bio, my AVI, or my name, which have all been the same for a while now. I was just like, okay, so somebody's really mad at me on Twitter in order for y'all to suspend my Twitter. The funny part about that is I just started tweeting again. I really don't be on Twitter like that. I wasn't never really on Twitter like that. And I just now started really tweeting here on Facebook because some reason YouTube won't play your videos in particular. Listen, when I tell y'all that so many things happen, when it comes to me on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok. Like I feel like I'm just something the algorithms don't like. Like it's quite annoying, to be honest, to feel like I'm always being censored or shadow banned, or people are being unsubscribed to me, or my views are being messed with. If I get up early in the morning, look at the views, they might be more than when I go back an hour later. Now the views aren't as many as they were. It's a lot of stuff that goes on. And I just, what can I do? What can I do but just do my thing and hope for the best at this point? That's really all I can do. So that's what I continue to do. Okay. But we're about to get into Monique and Shannon because it's a lot to get into. It's a lot to break down. So y'all make sure y'all get y'all snacks. Okay. Shout out to A Connection TV. Get yourselves together because we're about to get into the thing, girl. All right. Before we get into it, don't forget, everybody. Y'all know I'm going on vacation in June because we're going to Thailand, bitch. Yes. Phuket, June 13th through the 20th. Please go to resetbydesignwellness.com to sign up. Use my code Bondy5 to get 5% off. But come through because we're going to have a good time. We're going to relax, relate, release, rejuvenate. Okay, we'll have a good time. We'll all go somewhere. I'm sure a lot of us have never been before. Some of you girls have gone. I have not. It'll be my first time in Thailand, girl, on this side of the world. I'm excited about it. We had a great time in Jamaica. I'm sorry, child, not Jamaica, Ghana. We had a good time in Ghana. Girl, I miss Jamaica, but they say it's not smart for us to go back there right now. That's what they said. But either way, y'all, we'll be in Thailand. So make sure y'all sign up if y'all trying to come through. We don't have that many seats left. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into it. First of all, Monique looks good. I want to start off there. I love the salt and pepper of the hair. The cleave was sitting up real nice. Monique looks good. Okay. She was mad at Shannon Sharpe, and there was a few times during this interview where she called Shannon out for his ways, meaning that I know you didn't did your research on me for this interview, but I've done my research on you too, brother. So please understand that whenever I need to explain something to you that you're acting obtuse about, as if you don't understand, I'm going to use something personal or something I've seen about you in order to make my point. Monique is good at what she does, y'all. So she was mad that he didn't snatch Skip Bayless like his Aunt Mary would have wanted him to. Okay. And basically she felt like, so you a punk and I did my research on you. That's how Monique was thinking until, the Jesus God-like character that her husband plays in her life, Sydney, told her that Skip Bayless would have died in Shannon's big ass gargantuan, tightly fitted arms if that had happened. And Shannon handled that situation properly because you can't put your hands on white people in America, especially when you a big black man. Okay. They may just shoot you like you was a goddamn gorilla that just didn't, went wild on the people or something like that. All right. So that started it off, letting me know that Monique has done her research on him and to call him to the carpet for the time she feel like he was acting bitch made. Okay. And she does that several times through this interview, pointing out times she felt like Shannon was acting bitch made. It was subtle, but somebody that's paying attention could have picked it up. So she goes on to say people have never liked Monique. They've never liked her because she tells the truth and she will tell on you. She shows Shannon to be it ain't your place type of person. No matter how wrong something is, if it's not your place, you're going to be quiet and not say anything. I always tell y'all, I never get why y'all get more upset at the messenger than you do at the actual message. Y'all don't care that this person has harmed this person. Y'all just care that this other person told on them. That's how y'all be. Okay. And so she's pointing out that issue. And I feel like we absolutely have that issue in our community. Y'all care about how shit look. Y'all don't care about how it really is. Okay. That's why y'all allow so many predators and abusive, unsafe men to be seen as heroes in our society. Not even just men, women as well. We're going to get into Oprah. So yes, people don't like Monique because she tells the truth. And she said something that Shannon then turned around and said to her in other words, in different words later on, that he was acting like he didn't understand, which is that whatever you succumb to, eventually that's what you support. Meaning that if you are okay with hiding that somebody is abusive, somebody has done messed up things to somebody, if you're okay with acting like you don't see it and turning your face, then you're a part of the problem as well. I.e. Jacquees trying to come out this week and call Trey Songz a artist when you knew those accusations against him back when he was your brother and you didn't care. But now that he didn't, pulled a couple of your dreads out, now all of a sudden you want to be screaming it from the rooftops. Bitch made, okay? Kat told the truth. She said that. Shay asked if she and her siblings played the dozens, but, she says they weren't paying enough attention to her back then in order for them to play the dozens. And I think this was a reference to her brother. Now, they went through most of this interview without bringing up her brother, which I feel like they absolutely should have, okay? They're going to, but they waited a minute to get there. She calls him out for liking white women. draws attention to the fact that she heard him say, as it pertains to interracial relationships, why black men go from black women to white women. He said, why would someone stay where they aren't happy? And she used that same line against him when he asked her why she doesn't forgive her biological family, why I don't just brush what they did to the back of my mind and smile in their face and act like it's all good. Well, I look at it the same way you look at black women, Shannon. Why should I stay somewhere where I'm not happy? I was just like, Monique is on her shit, everybody. Hold up. Monique is on her shit, everybody. Don't play with her. Listen, you had to be listening and paying attention. She was talking slow enough for you, but you had to be listening. She was absolutely hitting Shannon up a few times during this interview. The same way Kat did, just a different way. All right? She talks about Taraji. And she says, a decade ago, I talked to Taraji. And I told her that we have to demand what we are owed now instead of continuing to wait for somebody to give it to us. Shannon asked, why did no one care, Monique, when you said it? And she points out the obvious, because I'm a big black woman. And she says, I was saying y'all heroes, our heroes' names, Oprah, Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels. She was calling people's actual government names out. And they don't like that. We supposed to say they and them in the studio and production. We supposed to just be kind of vague when we calling out people for handling us wrong. But Monique had the balls to say what it was. Okay. I've always applauded her for saying the truth, no matter how people felt about it. And I've reposted some of my old videos making commentary on Monique throughout the years on my community page. Check that out after this live. But I've always remembered feeling like people had some fucking nerve with the way they handled Monique. And she gets into the whole Kane's promotion thing, but the idea that somebody is supposed to work for free just because that's the status quo for black people to feel so grateful to just be in the room that we're going to work for free. No. You can agree to do that, Whoopi Goldberg, Steve Harvey. Y'all can agree to do those things if that's what y'all want to do, but y'all not gonna guilt me and shame me because I refuse to work for free. Okay? I've always agreed with her on that, always felt where she was coming from on that. And this is all snowballed since then. Even the Netflix situation. I said, I'm not boycotting them, Monique, but at the same time, I'm not mad at you for suing them. Like, y'all do be messing over people. You do look at a black woman and feel like she's not as successful or as worthy as a black man or a white woman. Y'all do that. Y'all do that. Yeah, y'all absolutely do that. So yeah, I was also in agreement with Monique back then. All right. And I'm going to just tell y'all straight off rip. I agree with most of the shit that she said in this interview. We're going to get into the Sydney of it all, but I still agree with a lot of what she said, even when it came to some of the shit about Sydney. Okay. So she says our community has a problem with Monique having the support of her black husband. Why can't her husband manager stand beside her? And Monique, I think it's because we have seen men come into women's lives who are stars and basically try to take over their careers because they don't have any spark or light about themselves. They want to take yours and make it as their own. We've seen that happen several times with women who, have men in their lives. These men come in, they get involved in a business because they're the man. So they feel like they need to be in some type of control. So the woman acquiesces and makes a man that doesn't have any real, history in management. She makes him her manager. Now he's handling her business. And then he starts handling her business fugazi because he wants to, sabotage her on some level because he's jealous and envious of the fact that she is the breadwinner and she's the star of the show, because in a patriarchal society, the man is supposed to be the star of the show. Now, there are a few select men that can handle this type of dynamic. Sydney may be that type of person, okay? But the way Monique talks about him as if she would not have any fucking sense if it was not for him, I don't like that. I don't like whenever anybody asks, especially a grown-ass woman like Monique, acts as if she would not be a whole human being without the help of this man who she puts on a pedestal like a god. And I recognize all he has been to her. And baby, if you happy with it, if you like it, I love it. But I do understand where our attitude towards Sydney came from. Okay. And it was from us feeling like, hold up, this your husband. We wasn't really viewing him as management. And we've seen this dynamic before and it never works out. These niggas always end up hitting you up for your money and all of that type of shit and cheating on you and dogging you out and then coming back around asking you for money. So we've seen it happen so many times, Monique, that everybody just assumed that you and Sydney were having the same dynamic. And of course, nobody likes to hear you calling this nigga daddy. It's weird. You know, if y'all want to play like that in a bedroom, but to say that shit constantly out loud in front of everybody, it just feels like you're posturing and trying to make your husband feel like he's up here, because in essence, you being as big as you are makes him feel like he's down here. So you gotta be hyper vigilant about making sure everybody's respecting him, you know. And she said he not like that. And I'm willing to, you know, hey, let her have that. Because when she talked about Tyler Perry and she talked about going to meetings and them not wanting Sydney around, I understand why she would want Sydney around, because it's about support. It's about having another person in a room that has my back, because when I go into this room by myself, you might say some shit or insinuate some shit, but whatever you do, I might have felt safer if my partner was here with me, and also if my management was here with me, and also if a man that loves and supports me is here with me, and also somebody that can be another listening ear. So you're not going to disrespect me and hit me, you know. I'm sorry, y'all. This shit made me think about Christian Keys. You're not gonna, you know, say no crazy outlandish shit to me in front of somebody that can back up that you just said some crazy outlandish shit to me. And I think that might have been another reason why people wanted to make it seem like Sydney was such a bad guy. And we didn't need to, you know, just because you want to be able to have Monique in situations where you can say anything to her and then nobody will believe her. When she brings her husband in a room with her, that's another man standing there with her that will co-sign whatever she says happened. You want to then make Sydney seem like he ain't shit, so we don't believe nothing that's being said by Monique or her husband when it comes to people like Tyler Perry and all of these other people that want to be able to assert dominance over Monique when they have these conversations behind closed doors. Okay? So when she was talking that, I definitely understood where she was coming from. And why she feels the need to have him present. And I'm not mad at her for that. I'm not. Let's continue on. Monique says that she was a deterrent. They blackballed her and did her the way they did because she spoke up and she wasn't going to just take any old type of treatment. And let me tell y'all something. When she was saying it, I was like, I wonder what white person is talking to Oprah and Tyler Perry and telling them what to impress upon Monique, because that's what I feel like was going on. It just does, like, y'all, I've been ganged up on by people before where you can tell they've had conversations about me and now they decided to come at me from different angles so that I'm getting hit up on this end and then I'm getting hit up on this end. It's a bully. It's a way, it's a tactic to weaken the person and make them feel like, oh, you have to be wrong if all of these people are coming at you from all of these different, you know, from all of these different angles. If Tyler Perry's coming at you and then you got Oprah Winfrey calling you, you got all of these people calling you to bully you into doing something that you don't want to do. And it feels as if there was some white person at the top that was talking to Oprah. There was some white person at the top that was talking to Tyler Perry and telling them what to impress on Monique. That's what it felt like to me. Okay. She has a problem with Taraji writing a love letter to Lady O, to Oprah, instead of standing on business. Meaning if you was going to come out and cry and be broken in front of everybody and show us how frustrated you are working this hard all these years and still having to beg for them to give you what you are owed and what should just be standard for everybody when it comes to these productions, food, catering, cars, a non-infested trailer. Like, that shit should not have to be something that we have to talk to you about, especially when Oprah is a producer on this situation. I shouldn't have to come to Oprah to tell her to fix these things. Oprah should have made sure this shit was already taken care of because she knows how this goes. So when you have them dealing with this type of stuff, it feels intentional. It felt intentional that you would have this big movie, you would have all of this hoopla, all of this promotion, and you were not treating the cast of star-studded actors and actresses. You would not treat them well. And then on the back end, make it seem like you came in and saved the day. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, y'all. It feels intentional. For whatever reason they did it, it feels intentional that they did not give Taraji and the rest of the cast what was appropriate for actors and actresses of their stature on a production of that scale. And as far as Monique, what Monique said about, Taraji, I agree with her. I agree with her, y'all. There are so many people that punk out under pressure. And you got to stand on business. There has to be some, some integrity once you decide to come out and speak up. And I feel like, even though I agree with Monique, I also can't be mad at Taraji because I feel like Taraji is doing what she thinks is best for her out of fear. I don't want them to stop wanting to work with me because then I don't work at all. So I need to make this right. But when you really think about it, I feel like Monique was able to go on and be good without Tyler Perry and Oprah. And I think there are other performers that are able to go on in their career without a Tyler Perry and an Oprah. You know what I'm saying? Like, even discussing T.S. Madison. T.S. Madison had this friendship with Lee Daniels. So T.S. Madison talks to Lee Daniels, and that's what bridged the gap between Monique and Lee Daniels. Lee Daniels apologizes to Monique, does it publicly. Then on top of that, enters into another production with Monique as a sign of good faith that we good. I'm not just talking like Oprah and Tyler Perry do. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? It absolutely feels like the chickens are starting to come home to roost. And I think what that means is that people are starting to see the shit for what it is. These people are gatekeepers. These people are a little fucked up. Like everybody else. They're not supposed to be pedestalized because they have a lot of fame and money, because essentially that doesn't make you a perfect person. And what that means is Oprah can be envious of somebody like Monique for winning an Oscar. It means Oprah can be envious of somebody like Whoopi Goldberg for being an EGOT. Even with all that she has as a Black billionaire, she could still have wanted to get those awards and that recognition from white people. And Monique got it without having to do all of that bending. And Whoopi Goldberg did the bending, but ultimately still, she was more celebrated as an artist than Oprah was. Okay? So I feel like when we really looking at it, to me, it does kind of make sense that Oprah would be that way. And Tyler Perry would be the type of person to smile in your face and act like it's all good and really can't stand your ass. Like, yeah, it seems like that could be the way. Okay? Now, Tyler admitted, and I covered this years ago as well. Tyler admitted on a phone conversation when Monique and her husband recorded him that he lied about her being hard to work with, and that caused her to lose out on opportunities. Now people don't want to work with her because Tyler Perry didn't put it out there that she's difficult to work with. That was never out there like that before. Okay. And so then she misses out on making millions of dollars over a 12-year period where she's being blackballed. Honestly, it does feel like you owe that lady some money. Honestly, it does kind of feel like you owe that lady some money. Because that, like, what was the reason for that? So y'all could show Monique, y'all could prove a point on behalf of these white people, whoever they may be. She can't do that. Y'all need to show her that she can't do that. That's what it felt like to me. I could be wrong, but that's what it felt like to me. She says that all she wants for people to do is to be accountable. That's why she ain't got nothing to say about Lee Daniels now, because he was accountable. Okay. He admitted it. He admitted it publicly. They made it right. She good with him. Shannon heard the audio of Tyler Perry, and he still wouldn't repeat it or say what the truth was on camera. He flips it and says that she shouldn't have recorded him, but it was legal to do so in the state that they lived in. So why the fuck you talking about what I shouldn't have done when I absolutely was in my right to record our phone conversation that proved this nigga's lying. He's fake. Okay. Then Monique asked Shannon to turn to a camera, and she kept asking him to do this. Turn to a camera and ask Tyler Perry, will he compensate me for what I lost? And Shannon then turns to the camera and says, Tyler Perry, will you come to Club Shay to talk about compensating Monique? Will you compensate her? Fuck talking about it. We've already talked about it. It's already been talked about. Either make it right or don't say nothing at all. Okay, but I like the way, Shannon tried to flip that into his benefit. Child, if he get Tyler Perry or Oprah to come on Club Shay, girl, listen, I'll be glued to the internet that day. So Monique has issues with the same people that Cat Williams has issues with. She talks about how Al Sharpton said he would help with the whole Tyler Perry situation. Then the next thing you know, he's on Tyler Perry's private jet. Stephanie Mills called Tyler, and he told her Monique would have to meet him without Sydney, and she would have to publicly apologize to him, even though she didn't do anything to him. Say he and Oprah didn't blackball her. So you want me to meet with you by myself and you want me to lie? No, not doing that. That would defeat the purpose of us meeting up. Kevin Hart reached out to Tyler Perry on her behalf, but to no avail. So Kevin says, you know what, Monique, I'll work with you. I'm going to do this project with you. And then next thing you know, Kevin's manager, David Becky, is calling Monique saying, calling the studio saying that it's all a lie and that Kevin doesn't want anything to do with Monique. And then, she calls Kevin like, Kevin, what's going on? And never hears from Kevin again after he says it was a miscommunication. Now, she did say that Kevin wrote her a check when she needed it. Kevin actually did support her and she appreciated him for that. But she was just making the point that every time somebody tries to go to Tyler Perry as a go-between to make this right between the two of them, Tyler Perry is always paying, buying, or punking somebody into being on his side or simply just turning the other cheek, acting like you don't see what the hell is going on. That's why she used Kevin, just to make the point. Not saying that Kevin is a bad guy, but just saying that everybody, no matter how big they are, when she asked them to go and be a go-between between her and Tyler Perry always finds a way to wiggle his way out of the accountability. Whether it's by paying somebody, giving them a plane, saying, hey, you can go, do this. We don't know what Kevin got out the situation, but we know Kevin pulled out of his agreement with Monique. And we got to know that was because of whatever conversation he had with Tyler Perry. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what would make sense to me. Mo says Tyler doesn't want her husband there because he's direct and he doesn't cower. I could believe that, especially I know everybody still doesn't want to believe the situation with Christian Keys is about Tyler Perry. I know we've, tried to make it seem like that's not what that is, but I feel like we still don't really know. But a lot of this conversation made me think about the shit that Christian Keys said about having these meetings with whatever executive it was and having to have these recording, pins and all type of shit to record the conversation because of how the person liked to play behind the scenes versus how they play in public. So when Monique is talking about that, I feel like that's another reason why you don't want Sydney there, because you want to be able to sun her, be disrespectful, say whatever the fuck you want to say, and then have no evidence of it and be able to just switch it in front of everybody like you never said none of this shit. So I get it. She shouted out T.S. Madison for saying she heard what Tyler Perry said. A lot of us heard the conversation and didn't just throw Monique away the way people seemingly wanted us to. But shout out to T.S. Madison. So Oprah has been unfair and unjust. After Monique won her Oscar, Oprah got jealous, in my opinion, and went to Lee Daniels 2 times to get a role that was offered to Monique. I believe this. A lot of times the roles that it seems like would have been a Monique fit, they went and got Oprah for. Like it did seem that way. I'm sorry, y'all. And I could be wrong, but because of the way Monique lines up everything, there's nothing that she's lying about. Okay. I'm going to tell y'all why I feel like she fucked up. But outside of that, I don't think there's anything that she's lying about. So when she says that Oprah went to Lee Daniels and said, I got the money to help you produce this film. So I know you wanted Monique for it, but I'll come in and produce it if you put me in it. Yeah, I can believe the butler. Yes, I could definitely believe that. I can. Okay. Then she brings up her brother. She brings up her brother who molested Monique, and how after she won the Oscar, Oprah brings her brother on the show. Now, Oprah called her ahead of time and said, I'm going to have your brother on the show. Would you want to come on, have a conversation with him? He's going to talk about, the molestation and how to watch out for it and other people, which I feel like people that molest, they don't never stop molesting. But if you want to use them as a tool to help other people be able to pinpoint signs and shit, fine. I don't think he needed to be the poster child for it, because it all seemed like you just trying to get clout and attention off of molesting your little sister because she became famous, which is fucking disgusting to me. But it's crazy to me that Oprah even wanted to do that interview. Like, why? Either way, Monique felt like at least she gave me the heads up. And then they do the interview. And what ends up happening is Monique's parents and her other brother are also on the show. Oprah did not tell her anything about that. If she had known that the mama was going to be on there looking greedy and everybody was going to be on there kind of making apologies for the brother, if she would have known that, she would have shut that shit down, because she says to this day she'll have people coming up to her telling her that her mama wasn't shit based on what they saw on that Oprah Winfrey interview. Okay? And then she points out that her people went to Barbara Walters first, and Barbara Walters called her and told her, I wouldn't do that to you. You just got an Oscar. Why would I bring this sordid story about your family and put it on my platform? And y'all, this is why I can't always be about race with everything, because I have absolutely seen and experienced Black people going to hell on you for no apparent reason, and a white person being the only one to be like, yeah, nah, I'm not doing that. That's whack as fuck. Ain't it crazy to be your own people sometimes? That line is real. Move on to DL Hughley. People asked Monique on DL Hughley's radio show. She said DL Hughley wasn't there. But the way she described their conversation after what happened, I think is the dictator, the reason why. Okay. And y'all, I think it's so funny because she brought up Corinne Steffens, and Elizabeth Overseen is her new name. But Elizabeth Overseen was on Instagram Live for like 3 hours yesterday, just showing us all of the beautiful things in her home and how happy she is. And I love her. Okay. I just want y'all to know I've loved Corinne Steffens since back in the day when she came out with the books. I just like the way she talked. And then over the years, the way she has progressed with her branding and her image, and just finding out how incredibly smart she is, have a huge respect and love for Elizabeth Overseen. Okay. So I thought it was so funny. I feel like she went live intentionally because her name was brought up. But anyway, Monique talked about how back when she was on the radio show, they asked her a question. Would she rather her husband sleep with Lee Daniels with a condom or Corinne Steffens without a condom? So in one, you're slut shaming Corinne Steffens and assuming that she has some STDs because she slept with all of these men, which you don't know for a fact that lady has anything. That's the first thing. Second of all, you bringing up Lee Daniels as if her husband goes both ways and her husband will want to fuck a man. Yeah, it's given disrespectful. Okay, it's a joke, but it to me it was a game, but it was given disrespectful. And Monique didn't like that shit, and she called DL Hughley. And DL Hughley's story is that when she complained about it, he didn't air it. She says that she had to send a cease and desist. He didn't just decide not to air it on his own. She had to send a cease and desist in order for them not to air it. Now, I don't know which one of those is true. I don't. But I'm going to tell y'all, like I've told y'all before, I think DL Hughley is an asshole. I think he's a misogynist. I think he is another one of them punk ass niggas. When it comes to, defending all of these ain't shit ass niggas, you're going to defend the ain't shit ass nigga. You're going to ignore when your daughter tells you that something happened to her because it's inconvenient for you because it's a friend of yours. Like, yeah, like, you're going to wish that the baby you had on your wife out of wedlock passes away because you just don't want to have to deal with the baby and the side chick and all of that anymore because it's become too cumbersome. You know what I'm saying? And then you want to spend years cheating on your wife and talking to her crazy and dogging her out just as long as she stays for the money. Now everybody can act like DL Hughley's this great guy and he's all healed. But I told y'all, based on the way he responded to Lil King Harris's badass, the way he responded to King Harris told me that his mentality has not changed. His mentality has not changed. And everybody is always rushing to act like whenever somebody does something fucked up, they should be forgiven. No, motherfucker, I need for you to show me that you want to be forgiven. I need to see some humility. I need to see a change in attitude, a change in perspective. And his perspective of don't speak out against your parents because of the sacrifices they make for you, to me, was exactly the same mentality that you would have when you ignore your own daughter. Is for people to ignore what King is saying about his experience with his parents. Something you really could have just stayed the fuck out of, but it really, I guess made you upset. So yeah, DL Hughley, especially with his social media and how he comments on things, problematic as fuck as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to believe most of what Monique says about DL Hughley because I just feel like I've seen and heard him say things that aligns with the misogynistic, fucked up mindset I think he has and the attitude he probably had towards Monique. Okay? But either way, I did feel like Monique was fucked up when she got on stage during a comedy show and doubled down on it after the fact because that's not your place. That's already been put out there. DL Hughley had already put it out there that his daughter was molested, and when she came to him and told him, he didn't deal with it and he didn't do anything about it because he was friends with the man. Yeah, DL Hughley had already said that. I've reposted it on my community page if y'all want to see. Yeah, I did see his response. We're going to talk about his response when I'm done with this. But either way, they went on a tour together, right? And Monique says that she was supposed to headline. Back then, she posted her contract that said she was supposed to headline. He posted a memo that said he was supposed to headline. And we didn't know who to believe back then, but just that, something happened between them and it was a pissing contest online. She didn't say this back then. I feel like she didn't say this back then. But she said during the interview with Shay that what he did was come late to the show. And because she had it in her contract that she wasn't going to make people wait longer than an hour for her, the show was supposed to start at 8. At 9:30, she went on. And so she went on at 9 because she didn't want to make them wait. He shows up at 9:30. So basically, he waited until she went on stage first because it's in her contract to not have a long period of time people waiting on her. He waited until she went on so that he would go on after her. So it's not even that was the agreement, but he showed up late on purpose so that he would go last. And that's what makes me feel like this is another situation where you being a dirty ass nigga feeling like you should headline because you're a man and she's a woman and you're going to do some underhanded shit like show up when she's already in set so that she doesn't headline the way her contract says she's supposed to headline. So Monique then went on stage and called him a bitch ass nigga. And her way of proving that he was a bitch ass nigga is using his own words against him about his daughter's molestation. And I wasn't upset at Monique about it until his daughter came out and she was upset about it. And that's when I felt like that was wrong for Monique to do, because at the end of the day, you re-traumatize this young woman and she doesn't have any issue in what y'all got going on. So there was no need for you to bring her up. But this is when that Bible verse, the children will pay for the sins of the father. This is when that shit comes into play, because essentially we wouldn't have known that if DL Hughley had not put that out. We would not have known that if DL Hughley did not say on more than one radio show that happened to his daughter. And when he talked about it, it was as if he was trying to make himself seem as somebody that had grown from this dark, fucked up place. And this is probably right around the time where that Black Love show came out and everybody starts to notice that the couples on Black Love are toxic as fuck. Okay. And I felt like he was like, I've been through all of these things, but I'm better now. That was the tour that DL Hughley was going on. I'm gonna spray all my tea, and then I'm gonna act like I've grown from it, and everybody's gonna forgive me, and then I'm gonna be able to use that to rejuvenate my career. Because let's be clear, before DL Hughley got on social media and before the radio show and all of that, I watched DL Hughley recycle the same jokes over and over and over and over again. Okay. That's no disrespect to him. He's funny, but I still watched him do the same jokes in the same set over and over and over again. Okay. So that right there, when Monique brought up his daughter's situation, even though I'm still more mad at him than I am at Monique, she was wrong for that. That should not have been done. And I do think that that's the space that she probably feels bad about, but she too much of a bulldog to say that. She gonna stand on it because that's what she did, okay? But that's why Monique was fucked up for me, and that's basically where it ends for me with her being fucked up. Let's continue on. Child, when she made that joke and said she couldn't wrap a towel around herself, but she stood in the bathroom mirror and saw herself accepting them awards. Let me tell you something. That lady's still funny. And I love the fact that she was real enough to let us in on how she made these things happen for herself as being the big black woman, or the young fat black girl that nobody thought was going to make it, that nobody thought was going to be the person that she became. To say that she stood in the mirror and told herself, watched herself, envisioned herself getting those awards, and to then get them, that's a lesson for everybody. Okay. You gotta look at yourself in the mirror. You gotta see it in your mind's eye. You gotta see whatever you want for yourself. You have to see it and be cognizant of what you're seeing in your mind. You know what I'm saying? And believe that shit is gonna happen for you, and it will, regardless to any of the roadblocks you think are in your way. So shout out to Monique for giving us that. She looked up to Oprah, because back in the day, Oprah was on TV and she didn't see any other, black women, big black women doing it like that. So she looked up to Oprah. She also talked about how her Oscar wasn't even the award that she was so excited about. Her NAACP Image Awards were the ones that she was excited about. And we just finished talking about how everybody wants to be all excited about the white people's award shows. But when we have the black people award shows, y'all be disrespectful. Y'all don't show up. Y'all don't come. But as soon as the white people don't give y'all the attention and give y'all the accolades like y'all want, then all of a sudden, why we even care about them? You know why? Because everybody's still seeking, white people's validation. That's just what it is. Okay. Especially in America, you need the white people's validation in order to make it real. Like, that's just what it is. Okay. Monique got the Parkers after only being in LA for 11 months. And she said she's never auditioned for anything. She said she talked about how the Parkers made $800 million during its time on television, and they only made $55,000 per episode for 22 episodes by the time they got to the end of the show. And usually people are making hundreds of thousands of dollars per episode at that point. So they were definitely not being paid the way they should have been being paid, but they didn't know any better because both her and Countess were new in the industry and didn't really know how much they should have been being paid for a sitcom being that successful for that long of a run. Okay. And she said she felt like Tyler Perry owed her 12 years worth of $22 million because that's what she was making a year before he got out there and told everybody that she was hard to work with. And she said she still loves them. She still loved Tyler Perry and Oprah, but she wants them to be accountable. She points out that they handpicked Taraji and still made Taraji audition for The Color Purple, which lets them know that they can treat you any type of way. So whenever they, kind of press you, oh, we handpicked you, but then we're going to make you audition, it's to show that you're willing to go above and beyond for this. So when we give you little, meaning we don't pay for your the food and your cars and your trailers, if we don't put the money there, we know you're just gonna be happy for anything we giving y'all. So the executives can get paid a little bit more because we got a black movie, so we can take some of their money because they not gonna know no better. That's pretty much the mentality is given, that they know they can fuck over black people because black people don't get paid as much. So they make a black movie and know that they can probably skim money off of the budget because the black people don't know what they're supposed to be receiving anyway. That's what it's given. And she says that she has a king at home, so she's not bitter. And I'm just like, okay, Monique. Okay, Monique, girl. We ain't gonna keep arguing with you about Sydney. Y'all walking around in bonnets and pajamas at the airport shows lack of dignity and pride. Y'all was mad about that. I'm sorry. I agree. I don't know why y'all got to walk around like y'all at the house at the airport. You can be comfortable and still be cute. I believe in being cute down to the airport, girl. But that's just me. You can do you. But it is given you don't really care how you look. And that's fine. Don't care. Be sexy red. Nobody cares, girl. Do your thing. Sydney has taught her how to be a woman. I don't think any man can teach a woman how to be a woman. So I think that's weird that she would say that. I think women come into their womanhood on their own, to be honest. Even though you can, take from other women, it is so beneficial when you have other women to show you how to take care of yourself. But essentially, I think most women come into their womanhood by trial and error in their experiences, more than what any man is going to show you. But again, I'm not about to keep arguing with her about Sydney. She wishes that we all would be able to take a sip from the bottle of Sydney. She knows her place now. And it just happened. She did one day she realized she was out of order and she moved from the head of the table to the side. And I'm just kind of like, okay, girl. But she said she's known Sydney since the 10th grade. He was like a brother to her. He was at both of her previous weddings. He raised her. Yeah. Dick worship, dick worship, dick worship. Whatever you need, girl. I really don't care. But I feel like as a grown individual woman, it's weird for you to give him all of the props for who you've become, as if you didn't have to make certain decisions, if you didn't have to be reflective, as if you didn't have to do some work on yourself and make the decision to do work on yourself. A person can help you on your journey. A person can be a helpmate, and they should be appreciated and loved for that. Absolutely. But you are still on this journey as a singular person. And the idea that you had to be raised by a nigga your age is crazy to me. And I stand on that. Tiffany Haddish said that she's glad she doesn't have a husband like Monique's. And Mo said, if you had a husband like mine, maybe you wouldn't have them DUIs and you wouldn't have got caught up in what looked like the grooming of a child. I said, bitch, well, I can't lie. I can't lie with you there. I can't lie. I can't argue with Monique there. When speaking on wanting to be famous, Monique talks to the women who told Shannon he was black and ugly as a child, and now they wish that they would have wanted him, pointing out his underlying insecurities. I love the fact that she did that. She did it so nice and so, I'm your auntie and I'm gonna curse these bitches out for you. But she was basically reading him down, saying that we know that you are considered the big black ugly, man or child back in the day that nobody wanted, and so now you want everybody to kiss your ass because they didn't want you back then. Back then y'all didn't want me, now I'm hot, y'all all on me. That shit. Okay. And it shows his insecurities in the way that he talks about women, the way he talks about relationships, the way he talks about black women. She was reading him the fuck down in the most nice, nasty, veiled way possible. Takes a lot of smarts. Okay. She said that the money was funny for Queens of Comedy. They gave her a check that wasn't good. And then she called Walter Latham and said, give me cash from now on, and I'm not going on stage until I get my fucking money. All right. And then when they did the joint King and Queens of Comedy tour, the women still weren't treated right. Every man had his own limo. They tried to put all of them big bitches in one limo. Okay. Then on top of that, you had the men giving Rolexes at the end of the tour. The women still waiting for a timepiece from somebody. Not even a fucking watch from Walmart, girl. That's how they do women. So she talks about Precious and how Whoopi Goldberg told her, if you would have called me, I would have told you what you were supposed to do, which is, let them fuck you. Okay. And then I was going to be out here waiting for you when you was done. Okay. They wanted her to do promotion for the Cannes Film Festival for free. And she wasn't going to do it. She had a whole bunch of shit going on. And she said, no, I did all of the other promotion. If you're not going to pay me for the Cannes promotion, then I'm not doing it. I totally understood where she was coming from and was annoyed by the fact that everybody in Hollywood felt the need to publicly guilt her and shame her about that. Steve Harvey did it. Whoopi Goldberg did it because she, talked to a lot of people after that, and they all felt like it was their business to tell her that she should have just did it. Fuck you. And then Tyler Perry, child, when she talked about Tyler Perry calling her into his office and she had her security with her, and then Tyler Perry and everybody disappears from the room, I instantly thought about Christian Keys, bitch. I don't care what nobody talking about. Listen, as soon as she said Tyler Perry went and everybody disappeared, she told her security, you don't work for Tyler Perry. You stay right there. Okay? Then he tried to convince her to do the Cannes Film Festival. And she said, I mean, are you going to pay? I don't care where the check coming from, but somebody going to pay me. And he was like, well, I don't pay for that type of stuff. And she said, well, I don't work for free. And he said he respected it. Oprah said she respected it. And then they all did something different when it came time to speak on Oprah. I mean, to speak on Monique to other people. They all said it was cool to her face or over the phone, and then acted differently and blackballed her. Snake behavior. Okay? Bitch ass fake behavior. Sorry. That's what that sounds like to me. T.S. Madison, I told y'all T.S. Madison was the one that made shit right with Lee Daniels. Will Packer. Y'all, we're going to take a little quick break because I'm almost done with this. And y'all, we're going to get into Will Packer because I feel like I have told y'all that I can tell that something is not right about Tyler Perry because of the way he writes his shows. He is the sole writer for his shows. And I feel like that says a lot about his psyche. Those shows, especially the ones on BET Plus, some of them shows are extremely fucked up and weird. And when I think about it, it is a reflection of his psyche. Now we're going to talk about Will Packer and how Will Packer is the executive producer on Ready to Love. Ain't that right? I'm going to check it. But I feel like Will Packer is the executive producer on Ready to Love. And as we've been seeing the Oppressed Women's Network, there's some fucking issues over there. And I think that when you pay attention to people and their art, it speaks volumes. Take a quick break. We'll be right back. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it, do what y'all got to do.
Anywhere you go, you belong. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
All right, y'all. So Will Packer came to Monique for Almost Christmas that I have not ever watched until this past year. Okay. And I watched it a few times, right? It's a good movie. Monique is literally the highlight of that movie. Okay. It was well written, but Monique is the highlight of that movie. Okay. Like hilarious. And you can tell that Monique was like just basically freestyling. And that she was just saying any old thing because they was laughing their ass off, like from the shit that she was saying. I was still laughing at the way she remembered the fuck out of Danny Glover. That shit was hilarious. That's why you're looking all malnutrition. This shit walks. Girl, that shit was too funny. I'm sorry. Monique in any movie is hilarious. I watch Roscoe Jenkins all the time because that literally is the funniest fucking movie. Like I listen to this day. Okay. But Will Packer comes to her for Almost Christmas and he asked her to do a cameo. If y'all know what a cameo is, you come in and out. You're not supposed to be in damn near every scene. You're just doing a cameo. The director was David Talbert. And I might be wrong, but I feel like Corinne Stephens was saying last night, Elizabeth Overseen was on her live last night and she brought out a book that I think was a David Talbot book. I could be wrong. Y'all. But either way, David Talbot was the director of Almost Christmas. And he was also Sydney's roommate in college. They stayed across the hall from each other. Monique said, Will offered her, if you come on and just do this cameo for me, I'll do a 3-picture deal in a sitcom with you. She said they signed a contract and everything. Then as they start filming, his cameo starts getting stretched out more and more. So now you're trying to get more out of me, even though you only paid me a small amount of money, right? You only paid me for a cameo. Now I'm in almost all of the goddamn scenes. Okay. Then Will Packer decided he was going to be the head nigga in charge and did something she found disrespectful, which was try to direct her as a producer when David is the director. Don't you come in here on the set trying to take over this man's job, because you wouldn't have done that if he was Steven Spielberg or a white director. You wouldn't do that to him. So she had issue with him then. Then some young lady that worked for him, and the way she insinuated it sounded like Will might have been fucking her. That was the insinuation that I caught. I could be wrong. I don't know if that's true. But the way she said this young woman that was his little friend, okay, comes to Monique's trailer. And one of the assistants is in Monique's trailer with her shoes off. And she's like, well, why are you in here with your shoes off? And Monique said, baby, I don't know who you think you are, but this is my trailer. You don't come in here trying to check nobody about what's going on in my trailer. So she tells her, go get Will. Will comes back in and tells Mo that he's the head nigga in charge. And Mo said, well, I'm trying to figure out who you in charge of. Are you in charge of Danny Glover? Are you in charge of Gabrielle Union? Are you in charge of Kimberly Elise? Like all of these people that are veterans and well respected in the movie industry. Are you the head nigga in charge of all them? He tries to laugh it off, but nah, she clocked it for what it was, right? He was acting like a bitch. He was acting like an egomaniacal bitch. And then when you think about the way the men treat the women on Ready to Love, the way that show has become like a show basically centered around humiliating women and watching them, you know, scrape and scavenge for these bottom of the barrel ass niggas that can't even have a conversation with somebody. Yeah, like a lot of y'all give misogynistic. A lot of y'all give that the only time y'all consider women is when there's something to be gained or you fucking them. And it seems as if you an ain't shit nigga too, because to me, Ready to Love gives ain't shit nigga. And then we find out that Will Packer was being an ain't shit nigga on this movie set with Almost Christmas. I mean, yeah, Almost Christmas. And so then on top of that, Monique said, Taraji said that their trailers were infested for Color Purple. Well, theirs had a gas leak. They said, hey, baby, we smelling gas. The guy said, we told Will, and he just said, okay. Then the goddamn trailers blew up. And Monique posted evidence of the trailers being blown up in the fire department on the scene. All they asked about was the damn wigs that she was wearing. Didn't give a damn that she could have died in these trailers that y'all give to the black folk. It gives that whenever there's a black movie, y'all give them the bottom of the barrel, the broke shit, the stuff that y'all would never give to the white people movies. Y'all give the black people all the shit that y'all don't want to throw away, but y'all don't want to give them anything nice. That's what it's given. Trailers, food, the car services, whatever they can cut corners on to make sure the black people know that they should just be happy to be here. That's how they're going to do a black production. That's what it seemed like to me. So she wants Oprah and Tyler Perry to be accountable. And then she throws something out there about Roosevelt Cartwright told her some things about Oprah. It sounded like a veiled threat to me. I don't know who Roosevelt Cartwright is, but he knows Oprah's drink. And when she said it, it just was like, oh, I clocked that. That seemed like he told me some shit about you, bitch. Okay. There was also a little comment about her and Gail. So, listen, Monique was throwing shots out there. Shannon denies not liking black women. He says, I'm not going to chase a lie like his grandmother told him. And then we act like, men who don't hate their blackness, they have an internalized anti-blackness. A lot of black men have internalized racism, right? You, of course, are going to go have babies with the women that are closer in proximity. So, yeah, you go have babies with black women. But as soon as you get on, as soon as you really get comfortable in your money and in the industry, you go and get yourself white or damn near white. Okay? All of them have done, for the most part, all of them have done this. And if it's not a white woman, it's white adjacent. Okay. So at the end of the day, Shannon having black children with a black woman means nothing to me. The things that I feel like he has said, the questions he's asked, the type of arguments he likes to have with people on his show on social media tells me everything I need to know about him. Okay. It's giving red pill, is, giving Kevin Samuels, like it's giving all of that. Single mothers, black women, blah, blah, blah. It's giving all of that. Okay. But either way, he denies that. And he asked her how her brother's molestation affected her, and she says it made her aggressive and defensive, just like those black girls not liking him when he was black and ugly when he was a child has made him say the shit that he says about black women on social media. She was making she was making a correlation right there. Okay? And she says, "Listen, I had my share of men. I wasn't a hoe, but I was close to it." She said whenever she would drop down in the city, everybody wanted to be Professor Ogilvy. That's letting y'all know, please don't think because I'm a fat girl, I wasn't getting fucked. Please don't think that. I don't know why y'all think that. Anyway, Sydney told her that she needed to stop being a victim. Okay, she went to a psychiatrist, great black female psychiatrist, I feel like she was saying. I could be wrong, but I think that's what she said. And that woman basically would just reiterate to her everything that Sydney had already told her, right? And she says, Sydney looked at me and he said, baby, you was not a hoe. You just had friendly pussy, bitch. Girl, when I tell you a nigga looking you in your eye and telling you that you were not a whore, you just had friendly pussy, ma'am. Stay with that man. That fucking line is gold, bitch. I don't know whether you lying or not, but if Sydney actually said that shit to you, bitch, don't leave that man, girl. We'll be all right. Because it's true acceptance. It's true acceptance for who a person is. I don't know Sydney, okay? I don't like the way she talk about the nigga, but when she said that shit, I said, okay, redeeming qualities. Everybody has them. Everybody has redeeming qualities. Okay, child, I laughed so hard. She said that she could deal with what happened in Hollywood because her own father denied her help and then freely gave it to her sister. She talked about how she asked her daddy to co-sign for a car for her, and he denied her, wouldn't do it for her, but then turned around and did it for her sister. And she went to her aunt crying and asked her aunt why. And she says, because, sometimes parents can recognize their weak children and their strong children, their children that's going to be okay and their children that's not. And I feel like I noticed that a lot, but I also wonder now, was the child really weak and couldn't do for themselves? Or did you baby them and kind of make it hard for them to do for themselves because they know somebody going to come and save them versus the child that you just let fend for themselves. And when they have to fend for themselves, they figure it out on their own. That's why they're going to be all right. I hate that shit too, because the same shit was said about me. My daddy said the same thing about me. She going to be all right. Like, yeah, but you could have been a little bit better to me, nigga. I'm just saying, okay? But yeah, okay? I don't like that shit neither. Because I feel like, when you leave kids to have to fend for themselves and figure out how to deal with trauma on their own, it makes it hard for them as adults. It really makes it hard for them as adults, in my opinion. About how to self-regulate, about not feeling anxiety, not feeling anxious, like just all of those things that a lot of the times nobody was paying attention to back in the day because they didn't have the time to. They didn't have the energy to. We just trying to scratch and survive good times and shit. But now we in, soft girl era, and everybody can kind of sit back and just kind of look at how a lot of these things that we had in our families, these unhealthy ways of being, have caused us a lot of trauma, unnecessary trauma at that. That's why it's okay to look at things and unlearn certain habits and pay attention to the way your parents parented you and be able to say, hey, this was fucked up. This was good, but this was fucked up, so that you don't repeat the same mistake. Everybody feels like it's all about placing blame. It's not about placing blame. It's not about making your parents feel bad forever for whatever they did, but it's just about being able to pinpoint where it comes from so that you can no longer move from a trauma space. Because when you don't be real about what the issue is, when you don't identify it, when you don't speak it, when you don't deal with it, it just shows up in other ways. It's just going to show up in another way. So I like the fact that she pointed that out. That if it wasn't for her hard upbringing, she wouldn't have been able to deal with Hollywood. I understand that. Because if it wasn't for mine, I wouldn't have been able to deal with the news business. All motherfuckers talking crazy to me on the internet all the time. Okay? Or, getting my pages taken down because you mad about my opinion and, I read you and blocked your ass. So now you won't go and report my page and all of that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm low-key Teflon most of the time. Okay? Most of the time, not all. The breakfast nubs. She called them niggas the breakfast nubs. Called her donkey of the day. But at the end of the day, nobody came back and apologized when she settled with Netflix. And I said this back then, that if she could prove it, get your money. Fucking Netflix is worth how much money? And y'all see how Netflix is playing? Y'all see how they did the Black Mirror episode telling y'all exactly what the fuck they was gonna do, stealing everybody's image so that you can put it in the AI and not have to pay people how you supposed to pay them for their damn likeness, so that you don't have to pay to have real people in the movie, so you can just have all these AI motherfuckers walking around so y'all don't have to pay actors and shit. Just always trying to find a way to use technology to take advantage of people and try to force people into free labor. That's what y'all do. All these corporations force everybody into free labor. It is best you can. Okay. And at the end, she tells Shannon, stop messing with them young girls and get you an old bitch. You complaining, the same shit I said about Shannon. You're complaining about paying for shit. Go get you an old bitch that you ain't got to worry about giving her no money because she got her own money. But see, then you would have to be a grown-ass man and not be insecure in the presence of a woman that is not going to cower or be a punk just because you a man. Okay? Because a lot of y'all niggas are not as smart as the women that y'all seek, and y'all have a problem with that. So y'all got to demean and talk down on those women in some type of way because you can't fuck with them, verbally or in intellectual level, whatever the thing is. You got to keep trying to humble these women because they make you feel bad and, because you're not as astute as them in some type of way. Shannon reads as that type of guy that don't want to be with somebody exactly his age because then he would have to, he would have to do more. You'd have to be more respectful. You would have to put up or shut up. You couldn't play the games you play with these little girls that don't know no better and just so happy to be with somebody that's rich and famous. So she basically told him the same shit that I've been saying. And then at the end, Shannon asked her about Shaq and what he said about not trusting women. And Monique said, well, if you're not trusting a woman, if you're not talking to a woman, who you talking to? Who you talking to then? Just like Oprah. She said, just like Oprah. Oprah said when she would get off air and she would be stressed out, she would go and talk to Gail and Gail would, put her to bed. And she was, because whoever you talking to and telling all your issues to, you're fucking them, is what we're trying to say. Listen, girl. And that was basically, that was Monique on Club Shay wrapped up in a bow for y'all. Okay, damn near 3-hour interview. I done gave it to y'all in 1 hour and 7 minutes. I feel like I deserve some likes for that shit. Okay, I'm about to read these super chats because I appreciate these as well. Okay, thank you so much, love for Desi for the super sticker. Thank you, boo. Jeremy Franks, your videos are so soothing to me. God bless. Thank you, I appreciate that. Jamila Sinkler, thank you for the super chat, boo. Thank you. Kira Boo, hey, Bondi, I'm glad I caught you live. I'm glad you called me too. Thank you. Hey, Miss Shantae, thank you for becoming a member. Yes. Okay, my members, make sure you check the community page, girl. See the stuff you missed. Okay, Orange Moon, hey, love. Thank you for the super chat. Hey, Bondi, I think Monique suffers from role carryover. People saw her playing the role of precious abusive mama and started judging her morals in real life. I believe everything she said. You know what? Yes, I definitely think that people may have looked at that role and tried to put that role onto her as a person, and I don't think that's right at all. Mildred Ratchet, thank you for the super chat. Boo, Monique is the truth. Love your platform, BondyBlue. Thank you so much. Thank you. Esqui Hurt, thank you for the super chat. Sydney be using pimp logic on Mo. That's what it sounds like to me. That's what it sounds like to me. But like I said, I ain't gonna keep arguing with her about her man. If you like it, I love it, girl. Okay, bye yo, Miss Flores. Thank you for the super chat. Low-key, Monique was pissed at Shannon for being safe and neutral, cursing him out while calling him sugar. Oh, yeah, she had to get it out some type of way, but she was hitting him up in nice, nasty ways. She really was. And another thing, we're gonna play that clip of DL Hughley before I get out of here. Okay, so y'all just hold on for a second. But I do want to say that she spoke on her relationship with her son during the interview and said that because she was gone all the time, she did not have the best relationship with her son. And so with her second round of kids, her twins, she was a better parent. And I think we can all admit that happens a lot. You know, first time parents, they don't make the right decisions all the time. So the second time around, they'll try to fix what they fucked up on the first time. And so with that, I felt like she did say that she was accountable and that she has apologized to her son, but they are still far removed from each other, meaning that her son has not forgiven her, but she has apologized. And I've never seen her son come out and say anything bad about her on the internet either. So I think that also says a lot. Like, I may not fuck with you, but I ain't about to spray you to nobody, you know? Lady T, thank you for the super chat. Morning, lady. Thanks for watching. So I don't have to. Here's a little love. Still struggling with kitchen drama. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Amanda Evans, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all for y'all support. It's very wonderful. Very much so. All right, so let's go ahead and get into DL first, and then we're going to listen to this clip from the Oprah Winfrey show back in the day, girl. So DL was upset, girl. He was angry. Yikes.
Club Shay is getting messier and messier. It's almost like Wendy Williams didn't go anywhere. She just got a weight set. So Monique was on. Every time I see Monique these days, she's on doing.
Was that Wendy Williams shade? Okay.
Some greasy ass video with her and her daddy complaining about something or working out. I don't know nobody that work out that much and gain weight unless every crunch you do has got Captain in front of it.
Oh, fat jokes. Fat jokes. Wow, DL. You really stretched for those.
But apparently she goes on Club Shay and tells the story about how she came on my radio show and I wasn't there at the time. And my co-host Jasmine Sanders played a game that we played all the time with everybody called Would You Rather. She apparently was so offended by that she says she got off. She called me. Monique did, and she said I was very dismissive, like, Monique's a liar. When Monique did call me, I heard her complaints. I listened to her and I pulled the segment. So if I had been as dismissive as she alleges I was, that segment would have aired. It didn't because I respected her wishes.
Or because she sent you the cease and desist, like she said. I don't know. It's still up. It could be either way, DL. I'll believe you on that.
She's a liar. It's also befuddles the shit out of me how somebody who as a comedian talks as much shit about everybody else as she does, she has the temerity to be offended about anything as much shit as you say about people. Then she encouraged everybody, allegedly it stems from the fact that I used to always talk shit about her on video after video, and she encouraged her sweet babies to look at the video and find them. Do that. Do exactly what she says. And you know what you're not going to find? You're not going to find any evidence of that because Monique is a fucking...
Actually, I did look it up, and I feel like there are several videos of you talking about the Netflix situation and talking about how she needed to just take whatever them people wanted to give her. You did. Like, you did do interviews saying that she should just shut up and take whatever Netflix was giving her. And you did more than one interview about it. Y'all can go and look it up on YouTube. So right there, he's lying. He's lying right there.
Fucking liar. She's lying about that. But what you will find is Monique talking shit about some alleged contract dispute we had. Look at the ticket. It says DL Hughley, then Monique. She knows the story. But what she did in response to that, she talked about my dog, my wife. This broad even brought out my daughter's personal trauma. My daughter was molested and Monique brought that shit out. And
she didn't bring it out. Don't act like nobody knew before she said it. You did an interview. You talked about it. She used what you said against you, but don't try to frame it like she pulled that shit out and nobody had ever heard that before.
Told the world that I allowed my daughter to be raped in front of me. The lying motherfucker. She knows.
Now, you didn't allow it to happen right in front of you, but you definitely didn't do anything about it. So, I mean.
Oh, she was lying. And it only stopped when everybody from my family checked her.
No, it stopped when your daughter came out and said that she was mad about Monique doing it. And I think that's when Monique felt bad.
Interesting. You know what else you won't see Monique doing? You won't ever see her with her family, videos with her children or grandchildren, because nobody fucks with me. How do you have sweet babies when your own babies don't fuck with you?
Her oldest son don't fuck with her. And honestly, just because we don't see it on social media doesn't mean it isn't happening. Like, y'all got to get out of thinking that just because shit not on social media, that mean it didn't happen. Y'all saw how y'all thought that Krishan didn't hit James Chanel because it wasn't on social media. And what just happened? She got charged for assaulting James Chanel. Mm-hmm.
How do you love us for real when there's no evidence of anybody loving you for real except your daddy, who you apparently have to pay?
Oh, why is that a thing? Like, Nicki Minaj said the same thing, like, about Megan Thee Stallion. You know, Party said it. Why do y'all love to, like, tell women no one loves them? Like, that's the craziest shit to say to somebody. No one loves you. Like, you got to be going to hell on somebody for you to tell them that nobody loves them.
And FYI, daughters are paid for by daddies, not daddies who get paid by their daughters. You know what else you won't see Monique doing?
What? Say that. What?
Are paid for by daddies, not daddies who get paid by their daughters. You know what else you won't see?
That was a Sydney slight. Got it.
See Monique doing? Telling jokes. Monique, if she just spends as much time.
I mean, you must not have seen the whole Shay interview. You mad about that one part where she talked about your ass so much that you stuttering through this speech. But she told some jokes, and she told jokes more so about herself than anybody else. She told the truth about everybody else.
Actually writing jokes and writing her Netflix special as she did, complaining about not having one, it wouldn't have been trash. It got the worst reviews of any Netflix special in history, because that's what Monique does. She complains and she has grievances. You never see her being a human being. You never see her being sweet.
What do you mean you never see her being a human being? What the fuck is that? To me, this moral superiority pedestal he's putting himself on, that's the reason why somebody had to remind your fucking ass about your daughter. Because what you talking about, son? I'm going to take your daughter situation off the table. The way you have told us more than once that you wanted that poor baby to die, that you cheated on your wife and had that baby out of wedlock, and you stop messing with the girl because she wanted to tell your wife, and the girl go and get a boyfriend, and the boyfriend throw the baby against the wall, and you praying that the baby passes. And I'm being nice about it. And you think you got the fucking right to talk about Monique being human? It's crazy to me how niggas could actually tell on themselves about the most despicable, disgusting shit they have ever done. Pinpoint one thing this woman did and try to act like it's equal or she's worse than you. You are still worse than her. The fuck? Crazy.
And warm to people, except when she's using it to butter somebody else to get something. There's a reason why everywhere she goes, shit starts. Everywhere she goes. How is it that nobody fucks with you, not even your family? How do you, or I was on the road, get it. I get it.
I would feel like the only reason your family fuck with you is because you pay for everything, but I don't know.
So. Every goddamn week. Look at my schedule versus yours. See how much I'm going. And I still manage to have a relationship that I cherish with my children. Can you say the same? You can't. Because all you do is talk about your grievances and who did you wrong. There's a reason you're by yourself. There's a reason you got to pay a man to love you. It's sad. There's an old adage that says you can't buy love. It's a shame, Monique, that you probably always will have to.
Oh, he thought he read with that one. He thought he cleared with that one. She got to buy love. Nigga, if you think your wife ain't still with you to this day simply because you pay the bills, you're delusional. You're delusional, DL. I'm sorry, sweetie. I'm sorry. But to be very clear, you're fucking projecting. I think the only reason your people still fuck with you is because you pay for shit. Like you said, daddies pay for daughters. Like you said. So if they still fucking with you, it's because you pay for stuff. You big mad. You was big mad. And what she said about him wasn't even that bad. Child, he thought he ate, but he ain't eat shit but himself to me. Okay, now let's see if we can play this right quick. Hold up.
Why do you want to
I'm gonna take it off because I don't want to get no copyright. But y'all let me know if y'all can still hear it.
be here today, Gerald?
I'm here today to first acknowledge what I've been in denial for 37 years. And that is, I did assault and inappropriately touch my sister in manners that were not comfortable for her. And for that, I apologize, and I'm humbly sorry.
2 years ago, Monique revealed she had been molested by her brother and used that pain to give her Oscar-winning performance in Precious.
Some may think that you're only doing this to get into the good graces of your sister now because she has an Academy Award.
Nah, I'm doing this to apologize to my sister, to hopefully bring back some family unity.
As for their relationship now, Monique recently told Barbara Walters there is none.
Did your brother ever apologize to you?
The apology that I got from my brother is, if you think I did something wrong.
Why do you want to be here today, Gerald?
Oprah Winfrey called.
If I did something wrong. If I did something wrong. Child. A fucking mess. Do you hear me? A mess. By coming to TV, child, for clout. They was doing anything for clout before the internet, girl. It definitely seemed like he put on his best jail suit so he could come and try to capitalize off of Monique's win and exonerate himself or let down some guilt. Boy, bye. Mary Sparkle's like, whoa, thank you for the super chat. If you gave Daryl Lynn an enema, you could fold him in your wallet. The most creative way to say someone is full of shit. Oh my God. D Johnson, thank you for the super chat. If he cherished his kids, why was he blessed one day? Okay. Because he called it a blessing, I believe. Loretta Banks, thank you so much for the super chat. Listen, I'm going to say this because this is what y'all always say. Oh, okay. Okay. So y'all, I'm so sorry. I repeated the wrong info. The man that DL Hughley said assaulted his daughter was not his friend. It was his daughter's friend. And that's why. But Monique made the part up about the man age. Who said anything about age? Nobody said anything about age. I mean, I don't give a fuck. It's irrelevant whether it was the daughter's friend or his friend. She came to him and said, somebody did something to me, and he admitted to not doing anything about it. Like, nobody said anything about age. I'm kind of wondering, why the fuck should it matter whose friend it was? It could have been a stranger. It don't matter. That's irrelevant. His friend, her friend, they friend, nigga, what? Oh yeah, I seen him talking about her working out. I saw that. Monique said it was a grown man when a boy was 13, like the daughter. Okay. So Monique said that. I did not say that. I didn't repeat anything wrong. I didn't say a grown man. I didn't say any of that. I just said you let another person assault your daughter. You let a man, you let a boy, child. I don't understand why everybody thinks that when men assault people as boys, it's not still assault. Girl. All I know is DL Hughley said himself, she came to him and said, this person did this to me, and he did nothing about it because of how he felt about the person. Period. I feel like all of that other shit is semantics, and it doesn't matter, and it doesn't change the fact that still makes DL Hughley a bitch ass nigga. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. I think that's irrelevant. And it's because he's a man's man. Okay. Mo also mentioned how she was an ancient mom. Yes, baby. Yes, I talked about that. I talked about that. Listen, don't come on this very good live ruining it with your apologist attitude. I've said all of the things. You don't need to correct me on anything. I've said all of the things. I said what I said. Miss Lovely Abina, thank you so much for becoming a member, my love. Thank you so much. With that being said, the Old Ladies First panel is tonight on my channel. So make sure y'all come through because the ladies are back and we're going to be talking about the things, girl. We're going to talk about candy. We're going to talk about the Grammys, the looks. Okay, we're going to talk about Lotto and Ice Spice. It's a lot of stuff that's going on, not really, but it's a little bit of stuff that we just gonna have to mention. We're gonna have to click on. We're gonna talk about. Okay. I think we might talk about, Drake's floppy penis. We'll talk. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the live. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. I'll see y'all tonight. Okay. Make sure y'all come through. Peace.